and welcome to episode 8 of the Whatever I'm Obsessed with This Time podcast. I might have to speed run this because my microphone's at 30%. But in today's episode, we're going to be finally talking about um, the second and third Saves the Day albums and why I really enjoy them and how they just become some of my favorite pieces of music, not only just in the genre, but just in general. And a lot of my how a lot of the influence from these albums have impacted my most recent upcoming music project, Sad Day for Skydiving. So let's just get into it. Through Being Cool was an album that was released late 90s. It's very heavily like pop punk esque. I wouldn't compare it to like Blink. It's kind of like it's kind of like a more. It, I mean, it's an emo Blink. It's kind of just straight up like edgy lyrics, but some of the best written edgy lyrics I've ever heard. Like Rock Tonic Juice, we'll get to that song, but oh my god, the the lyrics on this album are just perfection, and not in a way that's like, it's not like, like how I understand how pop punk obviously has a reputation of being like, immature fun music. This album is just, I would say, it's just more fun than like immature, because there's exaggerating on in a lot of ways, but it kind of adds to the authenticity of um, it's kind of like well constructed angst. That's the best way I would describe this band, or these two albums. Well constructed angst that other bands have not been able to recreate that same kind of magic. So starting off, we have All Star Me. I just wrote it's a good opener, and it's short and catchy. I do have some standout lyrics for songs that have really good lyrics. Um, but a lot of the music on this album is influenced by the music itself that I really like, rather than just the lyrics. However, I don't think I wrote down the lyrics for this album, primarily because the other album, the lyrics hold a way more of an importance. This album to me is just like it'd be like, hey, like, have you heard Dookie Green Day? And then just like reading off the lyrics from like those songs. I feel like it's kind of in the same vein as that, where it's like, no, it's the music itself. The music on this album is just perfect, and there's some really good riffs that I just absolutely love. And then we'll get into the lyrics, but I did write like the lyrics are some standouts on these songs, which brings us to uh, Your Vandal. Guitar riff goes hard, straight up 90s emo punk, and I couldn't stop bobbing my head to the chorus. Um, a lot of songs from this band have amazing choruses, and it's at the same time I ended up finding some other bands that have that kind of like just really memorable hooks and choruses that I just couldn't stop, like I couldn't stop playing because they're so damn good. And then we get to like the hit, which is Shoulder to the Wheel. I wrote it's the hit. It's like, it's straight up like, it's a catchy 90s pop punk banger, and the chorus is a fully realized version of, is it You Vandal or Your Vandal? Regardless, I think it's Your Vandal, but yeah, it sounds like they kind of just reworked the chorus for Your Vandal. Um, Reminds me of the movie Can't Hardly Wait. Oh yeah, yeah. This song easily, like, I if it wasn't featured in that movie soundtrack, like, I feel like it'd be perfect, along with Damn It and Your Graduation from like Third Eye Blind. Those songs were featured in that movie, and I could easily see this song being featured in that movie if it wasn't. Um, Okay, so Rock Tonic Juice Magic is my favorite Saves the Day song. It's so damn good. The chorus is amazing. It's the opening is just like I play this song for the opening, which is like, let me take this jagged saw and run it up against your thigh, cut some flesh away so I can take a piece of you with me. Like that is just amazing lyricism. For me, it's definitely it's a perfect song for the genre, and the lyrics and the riffs. It's just everything about it is just a perfect song. Next is Hollyhawks Forget Me Nots. I just wrote the song's really catchy and really inspired some of my lyric direction for my upcoming project, which I'd have to re-listen to that song because I could actually, yeah, I can kind of see that because I did write a lot of music after I heard this album, um, all the way through for the second time. I think I've heard this album once in high school, and we'll get to like the origin of where I found this band and everything. So Third Engine is one of my favorite riffs from the band, actually, I think I meant it as just a general favorite riff. It's one of my favorite tracks for lyrical content, and Alone in the chorus is really good. I actually did write the lyrics here, or I wrote some lyrics. The sky grows bigger every day, and the other week I hopped on a train, cutting through the state lines to come to you as the crow flies. Out there in the out there in the open, everything was melon and orange. Beautiful. And then next is My Sweet Fracture. I just wrote absolutely amazing lyrics. What's a bond if it dissolves in water? I took a piss that lasted longer than you and your manipulations. Called my mom last night. She said, "Sweetie, you don't need someone who's more fleeting than fall." That is genius. I love that so much. Uh, and then the next one is a very long title. I don't remember it. I wrote, it's a song about California that could be played on the OC. Head bobber, riff kicks ass. Yeah, sounds about right. The Last Lie I Told. Song is a total vibe. Reminds me of being in a small town. Song is perfect instrumentally. I think that when I heard that, I think it was like, oh, okay, I can kind of see where they got a direction to go with the next album, which makes a lot of sense. Okay, Do You Know What I Love the Most? Great pop punk track from the riff alone, a bit too quick. Yeah, if I remember correctly, I really liked that one, and I was like, oh, it's pretty short. The title track, amazing riff, catchy, could be a theme song to a show like Malcolm in the Middle. First song on the album to give me goosebumps. Yes, 100% yes. And then the closer is Band from the Back Porch, which is an amazing title, great riff, head bobber. Love the drums on this one. And everything just complements everything else perfectly. Would love to hear this live, probably second favorite track off of the album. And yes, that is true. All right, now we're getting into the next album, Stay What You Are. Amazing album. The first Saves the Day song I heard was off of this album, and it was on my Discover Weekly. We'll get to that. And then the second song I heard was off of this album, and it was on Clone High, which we'll also get to that. But yeah, so we're going to start with At Your Funeral. It is a fan favorite from the genre and for many people. It's one of my favorite intros and a classic song within the genre. Great lyrics, and I wrote the lyrics down for pretty much almost all of these songs. And you can bet when we mourn the death of you that night, in parentheses, they'll lay me on the dinner table. I'll be the pig with the apple in my mouth, the food that celebrates your end. That's so good. And then we have See You. Catchy, amazing lyrics. I love the songs. I blatantly drop names in like the songs. There was another band that I've been listening to lately. I forget which one. I think it was MXPX. But I just love when bands just blatantly like say like when they say like, oh, like you're with like so and so, and they actually like just they give a name, it just adds more to a song, and I just appreciate it so much more. I didn't include it in the lyrics, but I did include some really good lyrics from the song. My head is swirling, it's been carried off in the sky, and where it lands. I guess that I will get another head, then get on with my life, leave you somewhere beneath the waves of time, and I'll wear glass shoes and plastic wrap. No, I'll just wear my insides. You want to know who I really am, and yes, so do I. Amazing. Just absolutely incredible. Cars and Calories. Catchy, the melodies are some of the best I've heard from the band. Definitely, 100%. The melodies on this album are if not better than the previous one, or just as good. It's a really hard decision with these first two albums, or the second and third album. The lyrics I wrote were, her life was magazines and faithful TV screens, selling an empty dream of cars and calories, everything in between the sun and Saturn's ring, the price tag can't be seen. Which is just, I don't really, it's a song that I love. I love those lyrics, but it's one of those songs where it's just like, yeah, this is great just for the album. It's not really a standout track to me. Certain Tragedy, very Weezer with better melodies. I couldn't really say anything.
No battery.
Couldn't really say anything else regarding that. Jukebox Breakdown was the first song I heard by them, and the lyrics are some of
No
their
battery.
The lyrics are some of their best, catchy. What? Are some of their best, and it's catchy. And
No battery.
I'll run to the river, grab 5 buckets of water, wait right where you are, and I will serve you at your table.
No battery.
Hope you like my restaurant, and the lighting is right. The jukebox is in the corner, my mouth is the speaker, and it plays your favorite songs, and you know where the coin slot is.
No battery.
Freakish is easily one of my favorite songs by them. I love the chorus. I wish they did more slow momentum songs like this, and I adore just everything about this song. I wrote, as your ghost, oh wait, no, I didn't write the lyrics to that one, because I just want you to experience it on your own.
No battery.
Then we have As Your Ghost Takes Flight. Phenomenal lyrics. You become a ghost. You're floating somewhere in between the waking world and landscape of dreams. Well, it is nothing but dying.
Battery.
Got a grenade stuck in your teeth and you're pulling at the pin. You're an illusion, just a shadow flickering underneath the sun. Awesome.
No battery.
Nightingale. I'll do everything I can to keep you by my side, and I'll stare off through the darkness to find us a kingdom. Just kiss me before I go. I'll have to walk 1,000 miles just to find the ground deserving of your feet. You could throw me down and walk on me, and I just look on through my love and through the haze. Just phenomenal. We're gonna play until my microphone dies. I'm losing is me. This was the song I heard on Clone High. I don't remember where it plays, but the lyrics are out of this world. I'm just gonna shut off my microphone.
No battery.
Alright. So we have ditch the microphone. So we're gonna just continue from here. As I was saying, the Certain Tragedy is it's a very just a Weezer-esque like song, just better melodies than Weezer. I don't really listen to Weezer, but hearing this, it just sounds like a better Weezer with just the melodies alone. I didn't really write anything else after that. Jukebox Breakdown is the first song I heard by them, and the lyrics are just easily some of their best, and it's just a really catchy song. This is what I have for the lyrics. And I'll run down to the river, grab 5 buckets of water, wait right where you are, and I will serve you at your table. Hope you like my restaurant, and the lighting is right. The jukebox is in the corner. My mouth is the speaker, and it plays your favorite songs, and you know where the coin slot is. Which is just, it's such an interesting song. I can't think of any other band that has made a song that is as creative as that song. And it's easily just to stand out from their catalog. And then Freakish is one of my favorite songs by them. It's a very like slow momentum song, and I wish there was more of those from them that that's as done as perfectly as this song is. It's just a perfect song by them. But I didn't write the lyrics down because I just want you to experience the song yourself. And then next is As Your Ghost Takes Flight. Amazing lyrics. And it's just a catchy song. So what I have here is you become a ghost, you're floating somewhere in between the waking world and a landscape of dreams. Well, it is nothing but dying. Got a grenade stuck in your teeth and you're pulling at the pin. You're an illusion, just a shadow flickering underneath the sun. Which is just, I can't think of anything that's as great as that. Next is Nightingale. I just wrote great lyrics and then started writing down lyrics, which is the main thing about this album for me is that at one point the music just doesn't really. It's not like the first album, the music, the lyrics, the riffs, everything like together was just so perfect. It's a perfect 90s album that everything just works. Everything's a standout. With this album, I feel like they were just going a more serious direction, which I appreciate very much. But it does get to a point where it's just like you're listening to this album for the lyrics. Like there is some music that really complements certain songs, but it just doesn't become a standout anymore. And I just like as this podcast is or episode suggesting, at one point like I just ran out of things to say about these songs that it just came down to the lyrics itself. And this one is amazingly written. I'll do everything I can keep you by I'll do everything I can to keep you by my side, and I'll stare off through the darkness to find us a kingdom. Just kiss me before I go. I'll have to walk 1,000 miles just to find the ground deserving of your feet. You could throw me down and walk on me, and I just look on through my love and through the haze, which is just it's just so damn good writing, like just amazing writing. Easily like something you would just put, or this would be like if I don't understand how high school me couldn't get into this band, because out of like going through lyrics of like 2010s Midwest emo revival bands and like really just like getting into that stuff, I really don't understand how I didn't get into any of these lyrics. Like they're just absolutely amazing. Next is All I'm Losing Is Me, which is the second song I heard by them, and that was the Clone High song. I don't remember where this plays, and I'm curious to go back and watch the show to find out where exactly it plays. But it says, the moon hangs like the blade of an axe tonight, and it's poised to drop something soon enough. On this dump truck where I lie, mixed up with the morning's trash, there's a piece of glass sticking in my back and tar covering my mouth. But it's okay because I'm still breathing and my hands are free to heap. Whoa, yeah. When I think that I see that big blade falling, and I think that I can see the big blade coming, and the pressure is getting to me, and the waist is in which I sit is just lurking beside me. Oh my god. I really just I can't, there's not a lot I can say about these lyrics. It's just so damn good. Um yeah, and then we get to This Is Not an Exit. Great lyrics, one of their most unique songs from their catalog. Oh yeah, this is where I knew I kind of got a feel where their next direction was going to be, because the next album to me sounds very Weezer inspired, but this song alone off the album, This Is Not an Exit, really does sound classic rock inspired. And here's the lyrics that I wrote from this. The best that you knew how, and you can hear them cheering now. So let us smile and show your teeth, because you know you lived it well. There wasn't a lot of standout lyrics, but that's one thing that I took away from this track. And the overall music was enough to keep me invested, despite the lyrics being a little wishy-washy. But for this song alone, like it's the standout is the sound, how different it sounds compared to the other tracks. And then we get to easily one of their greatest songs, if not like I wrote top three. My second favorite song is probably the one that is Freakish. Freakish is my second favorite song. Rock Tonic Juice is my favorite, and Firefly is my third favorite. Which I didn't write down the lyrics, but I do have this to say. Easily a top three song by them. You could use this as a this and Rock Tonic Juice as an example on why people should check out this band. It sums up everything great about the album and their early work in general. It's a perfect emo and a perfect song in general, and it is. It's an amazing closer. It is a phenomenal song. I completely understand why a lot of people love this song, like from Saves the Day, and they respect it just like from that era. It is an amazing song. So we got the closing. So my closing points for this is that the writing on both of these albums have become my most recent influence towards songwriting on my become my most recent influence towards the songwriting on my recent project, and I highly recommend you check out these albums. If you like pop punk and emotional rock, then if you like pop punk and emotional rock, then I think you will enjoy these albums. And in my opinion, I think that these albums still stand the test of time, and I genuinely do. You can argue, yes, the lyrics are very, it was a time period where you can get away with writing some deep stuff as explicitly as this guy does. But in my opinion, because often or not, everything can always be compared to Taking Back Sundays, Tell All Your Friends. And if I remember correctly, this album came out before. It did. This album came out before Tell All Your Friends. Now, as much as I really, love that album to death, and a lot of people just praise it to all hell because it's inspired so many bands, in my opinion, if I had to compare these two, and you got to keep in mind, like, they're both. Taking Back Sunday's album is very more like teenage angst filled fun. That it's teenage angst fun. This is more like sincerity teenage angst, but it's not. Freakish is just a banger. Like, Freakish is such a great song, and the chorus is so damn good. It's easily it's a classic. But a lot of the other songs off of this album, despite their lyrics being as deep as they are, the music is not as like in your face as Tell All Your Friends. If I had to compare these two, I would really just say that when you grow up, you're going to eventually listen to this. As much as you really love Tell All Your Friends, I still love Tell All Your Friends, and I also love Your Favorite Weapon by Brand New. Like, they're both kind of they're both in those categories, and one I believe came out before the other. This album to me is just, this is perfect songwriting, and I feel like, as much as we had some great bands to come out of the era that were highly inspired by that album, imagine if more bands were inspired by this album. And there were, I don't want to like get anything wrong, but I know that I've listened to enough podcast episodes from whether it be Washed Up Emo or my friend's podcast that I know that a lot of people got into music because of Saves the Day, and it really shows. It some of their Yellow Card. I'm pretty sure Yellow Card is I would say highly inspired by Saves the Day. Definitely more pop punk or like fixated. While yes, their Through Being Cool is a pop punk banger album. I feel like when bands kind of had a more mature approach, I would say that comes from Saves the Day, because Saves the Day had their when they switched their not necessarily their writing style, but their instrumentation. I feel like that was for the best. Now, like, because I feel like we like, it's kind of tough nowadays because Jimmy World is considered, or is either still considered a pop punk band or was considered a pop punk band. And you have to consider that they released Clarity. Saves the Day released a pop punk album, and then they released this emotional rock album. And I'm not calling this emo because it's genuinely, I mean, yes, you can argue the lyrics are emotional enough, but I genuinely feel like non emo loving people that enjoy like emotional music and enjoy like good rock music would probably like this. They would probably like this album in the same way they would like Futures by Jimmy World. Again, different eras, or not eras, same era ish, different, same same ballpark, different years. But yeah, that I feel like that's all I had to say. I absolutely adore Stay What You Are, and Through Being Cool is just a fun album in general. This is definitely one of those albums that I knew. Oh, I forgot to mention one of the most important things about this album. This album art is amazing. Like, honestly, when I was listening to music on my Discover Weekly, I would always think that this album art stood out from like almost everything that or pretty much everything I saw at the time. Maybe that Trophy Eyes album was really good, but this album art inspired me to get into photography. I absolutely love this art. I even included this picture in my like photography presentation about like what inspired me to become a photographer and like different album covers, and this is easily one of my favorite pictures ever. And like I'm definitely gonna get an art print or something like this that just hung up on my wall because it's beautiful. Uh, and it just really represents the era, and everything about these albums are just absolutely perfect. And even though I can't say that I'm not gonna say like, oh yeah, this is my favorite band. No, there's a lot of elements I love from this band, and I love those two albums. But there are no way, in any way, like my favorite band. Like I have a lot of favorite lyricists, and I also have I did listen to their entire discography, and I do like their album before their 2006 album. I think it's called Sign the Alarm or something. The Alarm, or yeah, that one was good. Um, Not a huge fan of the album that came out after this, but it was far better than their 2007 album. I hate their 2007 album, and everything else after that. They were trying to do some interesting things, but not a lot of it stuck with me. Um, but yeah, I feel like I've covered everything I wanted to cover for this band. It's just amazing pieces of music that I highly recommend you check out both. If you like pop punk, check out Through Being Cool. And even if you don't like pop punk, or even if you do like pop punk, you still might like this album because they're both connected in different ways. It's kind of like how other bands, like, they do their fun hit album and then they do something a little bit more serious, and there's both two different sides. And yeah, you could argue like Weezer's Blue album, Pinkerton. Blue album would be Through Being Cool. Pinkerton would definitely be this. Uh, but yeah, that's all. That's all I have to say for this episode. Next episode, I'm not entirely sure what I want to talk about. It's could be about movies. I have some movies. ideas in mind. I do want to start doing my tier lists. I'm going to check out that stuff, as well as I also would like to talk about Further Seems Forever. The Moon is Down, I believe that's what the album's called. I would like to probably talk about that, and also like my love for Chris Carrabba as well. Um, so that could be in the next episodes. But yeah, we're gonna play it by ear. That being said, that's the episode. Peace.